We are here live from the PlayStation booth at E3 to talk about a new PlayStation VR game that was announced just last week in PlayStation's Countdown to E3 program, and that title is Ghost Giant. It's very charming. We've got the guys from Zoink here. Welcome, folks.
Hi.
Great to have you.
Thanks.
Great to be here.
It's cool to be here.
So we have a little bit of footage. I want to show people what this thing looks like, but it is super, super adorable. And it's got a great message about sort of relationships and friendships. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. We're trying to create it's a puzzle adventure game, but we're really trying to put a story in there that we feel has a message that is important. Maybe all of you want to talk a little bit about the story itself?
You play as the Ghost Giant, like a spirit guardian of the kid, Louis, who's very lonely and sad. And he works on a sunflower farm together with his mom, and he's quite overworked and trying to handle, meeting friends and at the same time juggling work, and he's just exhausted. And that's where you come in and help him out through his everyday life.
Yeah,
it's like his superpower.
So this fuzzy little character we were seeing running around there, that's Louis.
Yeah.
And Louis has some problems. Tell me a little bit about that and where the Ghost Giant sort of steps in.
Well, when I started the project, I actually originally created the original prototype for this game, and I really wanted to create a game where, at Zoink we've done a lot of story-based games before, and I thought it would be cool to have that you are, as a player, really are in the game with the main character. There's a lot of games that you play, and you see it on the screen. You see the character walking around like old classic games like Monkey Island, point-and-click adventure games, and you feel like you sort of have a connection to the character that's on the screen. But here in VR, you could really be there with the character now. So I thought it would be really cool to have a game where you actually really become friends with the main character on the screen. And then, of course, Louis has some problems in his life, and he's a very lonely kid, and you sort of manifest yourself there as sort of almost like a guardian angel, a protector, but you're sort of also in a way part of him, or you are something inside him that awakens to help himself.
And as we saw that adorable part in the trailer where he just sort of sees the Ghost Giant and freaks out, he's a little apprehensive at first. He doesn't know what to make of it, but the more that you play, the closer you guys start to become.
Yeah, the game, in the beginning, of course, the big part of it is really just making sure that he is not scared of you, of course, making sure that you actually are an okay person to have. And that part is, I thought that would be really funny to actually, and really interesting to sort of like, almost like having a little animal. You are quite scary to make sure that you are a nice guy,
Step by step, gain his trust.
Nice. So then how does the gameplay start to get woven into the story? So it definitely looks like it's an interesting connection.
Yeah. So the gameplay is really much about, like, in a way, we work a lot with voice actors. We have a lot of games we've done before, so a lot of excellent voice actors. So we work a lot with story, and it's a lot about going around this environment, this little cute village, listening to what they want, finding out what they're interested in, and of course then helping in different ways Louis getting through these obstacles he has to actually solve his problems. But it feels a lot like you really want to dive in there and actually get to know all the villagers and get to know how their connection is to each other.
Yeah. Because you sort of see in the trailer sort of poking around. It's like a bit of a sandbox experience that you're poking here, you're lifting things up there, moving everything around.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. That's the main interaction.
So mechanically, you're sort of trying to set things right in the world as the Ghost Giant, right? You're pulling obstacles away. I saw you could, like, spin buildings around to see what's happening inside. Tell us a little bit about how that works.
Yeah, do you wanna?
Yeah, we were looking for like a dollhouse feeling, almost like opening different walls and roofs and just peeking in and listening in on the stories going on there and like listening what the characters want and like we were talking a lot about when you were a kid and would like build worlds and build little towns of cardboard box or like and imagine that the toys would have actual life, and that's something we try to channel into the style of the game, and like it's supposed to look quite crafty and
the style we really wanted the style to look like it's almost like a kid could have made it, So it feels playful, it feels not too polished, Yeah, exactly. I'll just glue it together with lots of tape and paper. So it has that sort of charming but also relaxing place to be in.
So I have to confess, I've never thought about a ghost being giant. Can you talk at all about sort of what the character is or what he represents?
I mean, in a way, he represents something that Louis really need right now. Now, he doesn't have that, and it's kind of like, in a way, something inside him that he needs to push him forward to help him through these obstacles. And a ghost, I mean, it's also kind of cool that it fits really well with the story that, of course, Louis is the only one who can actually see you. Nobody else can see you. So that's also why they have such a great connection to each other, you know, why you have a great connection to him. And obviously it's so great. I mean, I always, first time I saw VR, I thought it was so cool that you actually could put your hands through stuff, you know, go into houses, grab stuff from behind, you know, poke somebody, you know, who's inside and just not scare them and would play around with them, you know.
Yeah, like really be a part of the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Versus sort of like interacting into it.
Yeah.
And Louis actually like recognizes you as a player or like a god, or if you will, or like in this world, or like recognizes that you are there playing around with this environment. And
that's great. I mean, is Ghost Giant, do we have a release time frame on this, or are you still working away?
Still working on that.
Still working away. So we'll have to wait to hear a little more about that.
For sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's shaping up really well. Really excited you guys were able to show us a little bit more, give us a little bit more insight into the development process and what we can look forward to there.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. That was Ghost Giant. We've got a lot more PlayStation VR and a whole bunch of other great games coming up all day long. Stay with us.
PlayStation